What is up, everybody? EpicGamer here with a new video. And in today's video, I want to discuss some of the characters that I would love to see come into Marvel Rivals, especially sooner than later. And if you can't tell by the intro, I am a huge fan of X-Men. And I grew up watching the original X-Men cartoon and just overall love all the X-Men movies and comic books. But enough with that. And if I sound a little off, I am a bit under the weather and I'm a bit late on my video because I had family and Easter things to do, you know, family things. But I'm back at it with a new video, and today's video I just simply want to discuss which characters I would love to see from the X-Men universe come into Marvel Rivals. I know there are a few already in-game, but there's some that I would absolutely love to play as and just find out what role they would play. If they would be a healer, a tank, or just simply DPS. So sit back and relax, and let's discuss some of the most iconic X-Men to ever exist. Now there's one particular X-Men that I very much like. He is my favorite X-Men of them all, and I know that most people, when they think of X-Men, they think of, you know, Storm, Wolverine, Gambit, a lot of the other bigger X-Men. But me personally, I think the light should be put on Cyclops. I think Cyclops is a very cool X-Men. He has a very unique power that is actually extremely powerful, and just overall he is a good guy trying to do everything right and will do whatever it takes to help and save everyone along the way. He is definitely the voice of reason when it comes to the X-Men, and I know that Wolverine and Cyclops most definitely clash 90% of the time. But Cyclops is most definitely one of the most powerful X-Men of them all, and do not underestimate his power. His laser eyes are extremely powerful. They have a lot of range and they are very, very powerful and can cause catastrophic damage, and I can only imagine what those laser eyes would do to a person in Marvel Rivals. Now, what I want to discuss about Cyclops is what role would Cyclops play? Would he be DPS? Would he be a healer? I definitely think not. Or a tank? Now, I honestly was sitting here thinking that maybe Cyclops could be a tank. But then I was thinking more DPS. But I could be wrong. I was already wrong with Emma Frost because I thought Emma Frost was going to be a healer, and she ended up coming in as a tank. And well, she's a very, very good tank, and she can get the job done very efficiently. Now, I personally think that Cyclops should maybe play the role kind of like Captain America does in Marvel Rivals. Captain America is a very powerful tank, but he is not as strong as like Emma Frost or Groot or the Thing or the Incredible Hulk in that matter. But Captain America is very good with going in and dishing out enough damage and then being able to get out of there to get healed, or pushing the backline to eliminate the healers. And then I got to thinking, well, Cyclops was that role as a tank. I think he could definitely pull it off very well. He's very strong, and he can dish out a lot of damage. Now, I'm not really sure how they would pull that off. I'm not sure. But then I think of him being like kind of like Black Widow or Squirrel Girl, hitting from a ranged position. And of course, he does have his laser eyes that can dish out a lot of damage. But I more lean on the role as a tank, simply because Cyclops is pretty beefy, and on top of that having a very powerful weapon at his disposal. But I'm not really sure. All I know is Cyclops is one of my favorite X-Men of all time, and I would absolutely love to see Cyclops in Marvel Rivals. But time will tell. But I know my videos are not the world's biggest videos or the best, but just maybe this video can make its way to the developers of Marvel Rivals, and they'll be like, yes, we're going to put Cyclops in immediately. One can wish, right? Now, we're going to discuss another character that I find to be very interesting, but also very powerful. She is also an X-Men, and that is Rogue. Now, this is another X-Men that I find to be very interesting, but also is one of my favorite X-Men, and that is Rogue. Rogue is a very unique character with a strange power. And honestly, it's kind of cursed power. The fact that she cannot physically touch anyone without hurting them. Now, Rogue's main power in X-Men is the ability to absorb the life force, memories, and powers of others through physical contact. Now, basically, Rogue, if she got her hands on Magneto, she would know his memories, his traits, his talents, and of course she would absorb his ability to be able to control metal. Now, I don't know how they would use her power in Marvel Rivals, but I do have a few ideas. Now, before I say that, I want to decide what role they would maybe use Rogue as. Now, I would say healer, but it's kind of strange for Rogue to be a healer simply because, first off, she's very powerful. Secondly, she hurts people by touching them. So I don't know how that would work as her being a healer. But again, I wasn't expecting Emma Frost to be a tank. I thought she was going to be a healer or simply DPS. So I don't know what plans they would have for a character like Rogue. Now, me personally, I think she should be some kind of character kind of like Mantis, where Mantis is a healer, but she also has abilities to give her fellow teammates boosts to their attack and other things. Now, how Mantis puts people to sleep, maybe they could have it to where Rogue would go up, stun another person, another character, and then she'd be able to touch them and would be able to absorb one of their abilities. Now, I'm not really sure how they would get that to work because, like Star-Lord, does not have a special ability. He is just very good at combat, and, well, he's a bounty hunter, space pirate. So he really doesn't have a power. He doesn't have a power like, you know, Scarlet Witch or Spider-Man or Wolverine. So I'm not really sure how they would do the whole physical touch thing, unless if she touches them, she could absorb their ult and use their ult against them. Now, that would be pretty overpowered, especially if you timed it out just right. Your teammate would activate their ult, you would activate your ult with Rogue, and then, well, they lose theirs, and then you get to use it against them. Now, that definitely would be extremely powerful, but you kind of got that with Loki. But Loki does not take away the teammate's ult, he just gets to use the same ult against them. I don't know, but I personally do not think that a healer fits her role, and I don't think a tank fits that role either. I think being simple DPS and support would be her best bet. But Rogue is most definitely one of the coolest characters from X-Men and one of my personal favorites. But there's one other X-Men I want to talk about before I end this video. Actually, let's make that two more X-Men that I want to talk about that I would love to see in Marvel Rivals. But one of them would most definitely be probably one of the most interesting and probably one of the most powerful characters in Marvel Rivals. And that is Deadpool. Okay, so I don't even know where to begin with this particular character. Besides, Deadpool is absolutely one of the most iconic characters from the Marvel Universe, hands down. And on top of that, he has so many different powers and abilities. I don't even know how they would put Deadpool into Marvel Rivals. The guy literally is a master assassin. He has speed, endurance, healing factors, agility, regeneration, extended lifespan, teleportation, superhuman agility, superhuman reflexes. He can heal. You cut off his limbs, they regrow. He can even go into different dimensions and parallels. His powers go on and on and on. But it's not just his powers. It's Deadpool, it's himself. He is absolutely one of the most iconic characters, but one of the most funniest characters of all time. Deadpool is a total smartass on top of being a total badass. And what can you go wrong with that? Now, I don't know how Deadpool would work in Marvel Rivals, but I'm sure they would definitely make it work. Now, Deadpool, of course, he has his guns, he has his katanas, and whatever other weapons he decides to bring to the fight. Now, in Marvel Rivals' standpoint, I would definitely say that he would have his guns and his katanas. Now, with his powers, I'm not really sure. And I'm not going to go through all those different thoughts and trying to come up with what his power could actually be, but I will discuss maybe a few ideas that could work for Deadpool. Now, I do think his teleportation would definitely be a huge thing with Deadpool. Kind of like how magic can teleport in between portals. It may not be a huge distance, but she can still go from one point to another to get behind somebody to dish out a lot of damage. Now maybe Deadpool could teleport somewhere on the map very quickly and be able to attack people from the back line. And maybe, because Deadpool has superhuman healing capabilities, kind of like Wolverine, maybe his life will come back to him over time. So instead of him having to always rely on a healer or going to find medkits, maybe one of his powers, or just maybe, standard, right out the gate without activating any of your powers, your health will slowly regenerate over time. It would suit Deadpool most definitely. And Deadpool would definitely be a very strong DPS. And I could only imagine how hilarious his ultimate would be. There's so many ideas that run through my head when it comes to Deadpool. His powers, his abilities, how would his katanas be, how would his gunplay be, on top of that, his iconic voice lines that he would have in between, especially in pre-game lobbies waiting, and just hearing Deadpool talk mad crap to somebody. It would be absolutely amazing to see Deadpool in Marvel Rivals, and I would be super excited to see what kind of powers that he would have and how they could, I don't even know words for it. How would they... He would be, so overpowered, but I'm not really sure. All I know is I'm a huge fan of Deadpool. Deadpool is one of my favorite characters just in general. Of course, if many didn't know, Deadpool is from the X-Men, and he is, we all know Wolverine and Deadpool. That was a fantastic movie, and just in general, Deadpool is one of the greatest characters of all time. Now, I personally do think he would definitely be DPS. He would be a very strong DPS, kind of like Star-Lord. I think Squirrel Girl is a very, very strong DPS, so I would definitely say Bucky also. Bucky is a very, very strong character for DPS. And I would definitely say that maybe he would have maybe something kind of like Psylocke and like Bucky or Star-Lord, where he would have his guns that he could hit from afar, and then whenever somebody gets up close to him, he would be able to tear them to pieces with his katanas, and maybe be able to move very quickly, kind of like how Spider-Man and Black Panther move very quickly, except not in that sense. Because I personally cannot stand Spider-Man, and I don't like Black Panther. I personally think that those roles only play for themselves. They're not like a team effort type character to pick. Now, that's just my personal opinion. I think, if you have a Spider-Man that's actually with your team and working and picking off people when need be, but also comes back to assist when it's needed, that's a good Spider-Man. But most Spider-Mans are all over the map and you don't even see them at all. I mean, to be honest. But if you like Spider-Man, no offense to you. It's just every Spider-Man I've ever had on my team has been not very good, or all they're doing is playing in the back line and waiting for people to respawn. And if that means not getting in the point to capture it just so he can kill one person, then that's what they do. And that same goes for Black Panthers. Every Black Panther I've had on my team, that's all they do. And it's not really assisting me and my teammates in actually winning. So I don't want Deadpool to fall into that same type of category. I just want Deadpool to be a very fast, but also a very big threat on the battlefield. Now, the last character I'm going to talk about is not an X-Men, but it is, and most definitely, my most sought after and my favorite character in the entire Marvel universe. And to be honest, probably the strongest, no, I can guarantee it, is the strongest villain of all time. Now, it's just my personal opinion, but I will absolutely play this guy and won't stop playing him until I get him all the way to Lord. I will master him, I will learn him, I will understand him. So hopefully soon we'll get the character that I'm really, really hoping that comes into the game. And with the new movie coming out here soon, maybe that will get the hype train moved up even more, and we will see Doctor Doom. Now, I don't know what everybody's thoughts are when it comes to the villains in the Marvel Universe. I know you have Thanos, and Thanos is a total badass, and I would love to see him in Marvel Rivals as well. But when it comes to one of the most iconic, to me at least, and one of the most terrifying villains in the Marvel Universe, that to me, hands down, goes to Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is a supervillain in the Marvel Comics with a wide array of powers. I mean, this guy has advanced intelligence, he has advanced technology, the mastery of magic and sorcery. He can control energy, dreams, gravity, ice, teleportation. His armor also absorbs solar energy and allows for his power to increase. And just overall, Doctor Doom is a walking tank. He is nightmare fuel when it comes to the Marvel Universe. Doctor Doom is literally unstoppable. And the fact that he has fought multiple characters throughout and has defeated them all. Like, I really liked in Fortnite when Doctor Doom came in, and inside Doctor Doom's castle there were bits and pieces of people that he has defeated from Iron Man to Thanos and so on and so on. And I thought that was really cool. And the fact that Doctor Doom is, well, he looks cool. His name is cool. His powers are absolutely astronomical. And the fact that the new movie's coming out soon, which is called Doomsday, which I am super stoked over. But it's Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom, I could only imagine what his powers would be. First off, immediately he would be a tank. No questions asked, 100% he would be a tank. I do not, that role does not go to anybody else. Like, he has to be a tank. And his ultimate, I have no idea. You know, it's like me and my buddy were talking about people's ultimates and stuff. And Doctor Doom, we couldn't ever come up with one. You know, like Thanos, you know, we thought he would pull out the Infinity Gauntlet, snap his fingers, and just take everybody out on the map. Complete reset, including his own teammates, everything. And I thought that was a really cool idea for Thanos. Like, he'd be the only person left. When he snapped his gauntlet, he would eliminate all your teammates and the enemy team, and you would be the only person alive, and everybody else would be on respawn. But Doctor Doom, I don't know. Like, he has so many different powers and so many different abilities that it literally, it's endless of how they could do his ultimate, what his power would be. All I know is he better be beefy, he better be able to put out a lot of damage, and please, if Doctor Doom comes to Marvel Rivals, and I'm sure he will, please let him have all his iconic armors that he has as cosmetics that you can, you know, buy, earn, something. And please let him have some of his most iconic voice lines throughout the movies, games, and of course the comic books. Most definitely the comic books. Sorry, I just wanted to go on that little rant. I'm not going to discuss a lot about Doctor Doom. He's just one of the characters that I really want to see come to Marvel Rivals. And I know everybody has different opinions on characters that they would love to see. But Doctor Doom, Cyclops, and Rogue are some of the characters that I would absolutely love to see in Marvel Rivals. But I would most definitely love to be able to play as them, learn them, master them, and yeah, I just really would like to see some more iconic characters come to Marvel Rivals. Of course, there are plenty of amazing characters in Marvel Rivals right now, especially with the release of Emma Frost, and we do have Ultron coming out very soon, which I'm pretty stoked over. I'm not really sure. I think he's going to be in the healer class, which is a little confusing, but I do like it. But if I could choose, you know, a character that I would rather have than Ultron, that would definitely be Cyclops, Rogue, or Doctor Doom. But I'm sure with the Doctor Doom movie right around the corner, that will definitely get the hype train moving, and I'm sure we'll be seeing Doctor Doom before we know it. Now, with all that being said, I'm going to end this video, but I just want to say a couple things before I go. I just wanted to say, for all the people that have sat through and listened to my videos, I just want to say thank you. I greatly appreciate all the people who have taken the time out of their day to view my video, and I truly hope that you enjoyed it. I know that I'm not the world's greatest content creator, but I'm working on it and trying to improve my skills as an editor, and of course trying to sit here and talk to myself looking at a screen. Now, that may be easy for others, but it is very difficult for me because I'm sitting in my gamer room in front of my PC talking basically to myself. And it's definitely awkward, but I am building and zoning in on my skills and getting better. But I just wanted to put that out there for everyone that does take the time out of their day to sit with me and just discuss some random stuff about one of the most amazing games that I've ever played. And that game is Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals is a game that I fell in love with, and I absolutely can't get enough of it. I love all the iconic heroes and villains that are in the game, and I just love overall the Marvel Universe. And, well, it's an endless universe with so many different possibilities and parallel universes, from really cool characters to so many different cosmetics that they can change on every character depending on what comic book or what parallel universe it could come from. And hopefully that my videos one day will cross over into a parallel universe and can reach, well, everyone. But that's a dream, but maybe, just maybe, it could happen. But I just wanted to say thank you for everyone for that. Like I said, I'm going to keep going with this channel. I'm going to make as much Marvel Rivals content as I can. I can't get the videos out as fast as some others because, well, I don't get to do this all day. I have to work a job, take care of my family, and of course, I got to play with my children, make them food, tuck them into bed, and all the other great things you have to do as being a father, but also having a family. But I am definitely not going to give up on my dream of becoming a YouTuber and a content creator. But I cannot do it without any of your guys' support. So, if you don't mind, would you please like, subscribe to my channel, and please share my videos around. And if you guys have ideas of videos that you would like for me to make, I would most definitely agree to that. And on top of that, if my videos are lacking something in quality, or something that you guys would like me to improve on, then please, there is a comment section for a reason. I will not take it as you're being rude. I will take it as, well, criticism that is needed. But with all that being said, I hope that you guys did enjoy the video. And I don't know about you guys, but I am super excited for the Marvel movies that have been announced, and of course Marvel movies that are coming out. And of course, here soon we will have Ultron in Marvel Rivals, which is going to be very interesting and fun. They have added, you know, the cosmetic wheel where you can change up the colors. Now, I know there's some controversy around that you have to pay for, and I do agree that it seems like kind of a money grab. But in this day and age, that's just part of it. You know, I don't just play Marvel Rivals, I play a lot of different games. I play Dead by Daylight, I play Fortnite, I play Diablo. And a lot of those games all have the same thing. They have a battle pass, but they also have a shop. And those shops have items that we really, really want. And we end up making microtransactions all the time. So just take it for what it is and just enjoy it. If you don't want to buy it, you don't have to. I know that things should be free, but unfortunately companies do have to make money. But anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm sorry it was a bit late, but family comes first. So, with all that being said, I hope all of you have a wonderful day, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next one. Be careful, stay safe, love your family, and never give up. I'm out.